say you have moved on, but your heart still races when you hear the name mentioned. Forgiveness is obedience. It's not just emotional relief. It is you choosing to obey God's command, because forgiveness is also a commandment from God. You forgive. If you forgive, I forgive you. There is no measurement to sin. Whether you lied, or you fornicated, or you killed someone, sin is sin. There's no measurement to sin. So I was held down by guilt. Like, for many years, I felt so guilty. I could not forgive myself. I fell into depression because of unforgiveness. I could not forgive myself. So if you want joy in your heart, if you want your life to be filled with joy, you have to forgive yourself. You have to learn that God has forgiven you, and you have to forgive others. Hi, my name is Iyanolu Amiri, the author of Dear Lady and God in a Fracture. I'm a writer with an Art of Purpose and Transformation. Today, we'll be talking about forgiveness, what it really means, whether forgiveness equates forgetfulness, and how forgiveness affects your peace of mind. Firstly, we'll be looking at the biblical definition of forgiveness. What does the Bible really say about forgiveness? While reciting the Lord's Prayer, the Bible says, "Forgive our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us." Also, Matthew chapter 6 verses 14 to 15 talks about forgiveness. It says that if you forgive your offender, your Father in heaven will also forgive you. And if you refuse to forgive your offenders, your Father in heaven will also not forgive you. This is simple and logical. Simply means that forgive whoever offends you, and your Father will also forgive you. And if you refuse to forgive, if you decide to hold on to the odds to unforgiveness, then your Father in heaven will not forgive you. And it's not possible for you not to offend your Father in heaven. Of course not. You are human, so it's just natural for you to do something that is offensive to God. And I hope you know that sin does not have there is no measurement to sin. Whether you lied, or you fornicated, or you killed someone, sin is sin. There's no measurement to sin. So it's easy for God to, it's just natural for God to forgive you if you let go of everyone or anybody that has offended you. Does forgiveness means not being hurt? Of course not. Forgiveness is not pretending not to be hurt. It's just choosing to let go, like let it go. There's this popular saying of letting go and letting God. You just let it go and let God take charge. So choosing to forgive does not mean pretending not to be hurt. No. You are human. You are human, you have your emotions. So it's okay for you to feel hurt. It's okay for you to feel offended. But forgiveness means letting go. You are letting go of whatever the person has done to you, and you are letting God. You are letting God into the situation. You are letting God to take charge. Forgiveness is not just a feeling. It's a decision that you make. It's something that you decide on. Okay, I know that this person has offended me. I'm so pained, I'm hurt, but I'm choosing to let go. I'm choosing to forgive this person. Forgiveness is obedience. It's not just emotional relief. It is you choosing to obey God's command, because forgiveness is also a commandment from God. You forgive. If you forgive, I forgive you. So you are choosing to obey the commandments of God beyond whatever you feel. Yes, your feeling is normal. Your feeling, you are expected to feel something. You are expected to feel hurt when someone offends you. But it is also very important for you to let go. It is also important for you to obey God's command. And what does the Bible say about forgiveness? The Bible says, forgive. When you are offended, forgive whoever has trespassed against you, so that he can forgive you. Does forgiveness means forgetfulness? I'm going to share a personal story as regards this. So when I was much younger, when I was still a teenager, I used to have this belief that if I forgive someone, then I'm naturally meant to forget. Like immediately I let go, immediately I relieve the burden from my heart. I'm supposed to forget whatever the person has done wrong. So it's got to a point that I began to feel bad about myself. It felt like, okay, maybe you really have not forgiven this person, because if you are forgiven, then you should not be remembering. But then I can't just forget. I could not forget whatever the person has done for me. Although now I don't remember most of these things. But then it just felt like, you said you are forgiven, then you should forget. But it's not possible. Like, it wasn't possible for me to just forget. And later on, while I was growing, I got to realize that forgiveness does not equate forgetfulness. The fact that I've forgiven someone does not mean that I've forgotten whatever the person has done for me. It just means that whenever I remember the wrong done to me, I don't feel hurt. I don't feel hatred towards the person. Unforgiveness means harboring hatred against the person. When you hear the person's name, you feel this kind of hatred. And this thing is, I could say this because it's something that I had to deal with recently. Like, I felt so offended. I mean, to the extent that if I hear this person's name or if I see this person, it's just, there's this hatred. Like, I don't, it's naturally difficult for me to hate someone. I mean, not like you, but for me to hate you, it's very, very rare. I can't even remember the last time I ever said I hate someone, but it just felt like hatred, and I know that it's something I have to deal with. So unforgiveness means having this kind of hatred, like hatred against someone, or feeling the pain that the person has caused you whenever you hear the person's name or whenever you see the person. That's unforgiveness. But forgiveness is you letting go. When you remember the person, you remember the lesson you've learned from whatever the person did to you, or you just feel, okay, well, it's all good. Like, it's just for the betterment of my life. It's just for like, God knows the best. Like, you know, the Bible says all things work together for good. All things, not just a little things or some things. So you just understand that, okay, whatever the person has done is working for my good. It's just that I have to pick the lesson. It could be for you to share the story to heal some other people. So forgiveness does not mean you would forget. No. I mean, now I try to remember some things that some people have done to me in time past that actually made me not to forgive them, but I can't remember. But also I can still remember some other things that have been done to me in time past, but it doesn't mean that I've not forgiven them. I just remember, I just smile about it. It's just in the past, and yeah, well, let bygone be bygone, you know. So forgiveness means letting go of the pain, of the odds, holding on to the lessons learned from whatever has been done from you. Forgiveness does not necessarily mean forgetfulness. The fact that you've forgiven someone does not mean you would forget easily what the person has done to you. So let's talk about 4 major reasons why you should forgive. 4 reasons why you should forgive. The first is forgiveness frees you. You know, I understand recently, or I've always known, but it just keeps coming back to me that forgiveness is for me and not just for the person. As much as I'm forgiving this person because I want to forgive you, I'm also doing myself a favor. I'm freeing myself from the shackles of unforgiveness, because like Pastor Midrash said in Managing Your Emotion, she said unforgiveness itself is a sin. So choosing to forgive means you are freeing yourself from the shackles of sin and from the shackles of unforgiveness. So forgiveness frees you. It gives you freedom. It gives you this kind of freedom. Okay, I am free. Like, your heart does not have to start racing when you see this person or when you hear this person's name. Your heart is at peace. Like, your mind is at peace. It gives you freedom. You have freedom in you. Like, you are happy. I don't know, but there's this joy, there's this happiness that unforgiveness gives. Like, you are letting go. I'm not even, whatever you've done, well, you can go. Girl. Just that. I'm just letting it go. I'm free. Like, I'm happy. I'm joyful. I'm letting it go because of me. Yes, forgiveness is first because of you and not because of the person. Yes, you are forgiving the person, but it is for your own benefit. It's because it gives you freedom. When you forgive, when you choose to let go, you are freeing yourself from the shackles of unforgiveness and from the shackles of sin. Secondly, forgiveness protects your heart from bitterness. You know, my pastor was preaching and it really felt timely, because I was just thinking about talking on forgiveness. And when I got to church, my pastor started preaching and he was talking about forgiveness. He was talking about living without regret, and he mentioned that when you have the roots of bitterness in you, it hinders you from receiving grace. So forgiveness protects your heart from bitterness, and it just gives you this joy. Like I said, forgiveness brings joy, and also it helps you to be receptive of the blessing that the Lord has in store for you. If you harbor unforgiveness, your heart will not be open to the blessings God has in store for you. because your heart is already filled with bitterness. Your heart is already, because there's no way you can have unforgiveness in you and you are not bitter. No. One thing that comes with unforgiveness is bitterness. I can tell you, I can assure you, I can say this with my full chest, because it is something I have experienced, and it is something that I've seen some people around me experience. I used to tell my mom, just let it go, let it go. It's not for you, it's not for the person, it's because of you. Look at you. When you remember the person, you frown. You don't need it, really. You don't need it. Just let it go. So forgiveness takes away bitterness. It protects your heart from bitterness, and it gives you this joy. It gives you this joy that, okay, you know what, I'm not going to allow whatever you've done for me or done to me to affect my mood. I choose to be joyful. I choose to be a joyful person. So it frees your heart from bitterness. It opens your heart to receive God's blessing for you, and it also opens your heart to joy, unending joy. It helps you to receive grace. So forgiveness is for you. I'm saying it again, that forgiveness is first for you, and secondly for the other person. Thirdly, forgiveness aligns you with God. There's this story in the Bible. I think Matthew chapter 18, verses 21 to 35. I'm just going to summarize. The Bible was talking about a servant that was owing his master. He was owing his master, and at that point, he could not afford to pay his master. His master wanted to punish him first, but after pleading and begging, the master decided to forgive him. Don't worry, you can go. And as this person was going back home, he saw another person that was owing him. And it's just common sense. Someone just forgave you, and you saw another person that has offended you. You should remember that, oh my God, my master just forgave me. I should also forgive this person. But this servant decided to punish the person that was owing him. You are owing me, you must pay me. You literally just got forgiven. You should be able to replicate the same thing. No, that was not the case of the servant. He made it so hard from the person that offended him that the news got to his master, and the master just was like, wait, I just forgiven the person. Why is it so hard for you to do the same for the person that has offended you? It just got the master so angry, and the master had to punish him. What the master has forgiven him before, he had to punish him for it because he could not forgive. And that is it about unforgiveness. And verse 35 that says that, and verse 35, Jesus speaking, he said that, and that is what my Father would do for each of you if you refuse to forgive your brother that trespasses against you. That's it. Like I said earlier, if you choose not to forgive, God will not forgive you. It's just as simple as that. Forgiveness aligns you with God, because forgiveness, like I said, is a commandment, and it means you are obeying God's commandment. And if you are obeying God's commandment, then it aligns you to God. It brings you closer to God. One of the things that can hinder your relationship with God is unforgiveness. Like I said, unforgiveness itself is a sin. If you harbor unforgiveness, it's a sin, and sin is one of the things that naturally draw people farther from God. If you sin against God, it's just natural for you to feel like, oh, I'm unworthy, I can't stand before God, which is not right anyway. It's just easy for us to always go to God. Like, He just made it open for us. Whatever you've done, just come. I'm ready to receive you. I'm always ready to receive you. That is how much God loves us. But then unforgiveness naturally keeps us away, keeps us distant from God. And forgiveness aligns us with God. It draws us closer to God, because I've forgiven this person. Your word says I should forgive. I've forgiven. Now I need you to just help me. I need you to strengthen me. This thing is not easy for me. I just need you to help me. At this time, I need you to bring restoration. Yes, that's it. I've forgiven you. Say this person has really, really offended me. It has really, really hurt me. But I'm letting go, and I want you to restore me. Whatever it is that I've lost in the process, I want you to restore me. It aligns you with God, and it draws you closer to God. And lastly, forgiveness breaks pride. People just feel if you are not forgiven, then you are proud. I don't know. When someone has offended you, I think, I cannot forgive you. It's pride. It's unforgiveness on itself. It's pride. Yes, it's not easy. I'm not going to lie. It's not easy to forgive, especially when you really, really felt so hurt, so heartbroken. You felt the pain, like you really, really felt the pain. It's not easy for you to just decide that, well, I'm letting go. I don't know about you, but I'm not naturally that kind of person that would say, you know what, I'm letting go. Like, I'm really thinking of what to do in return that would that would make you feel the pain that you caused me. Like, that was the then me. But now I just learned, like I was reflecting earlier today, and I just thought about how God has really, really worked on me. Like, I don't, if you offend me, well, I may feel the odds, but I'm not thinking of how to do you bad. I'm not thinking of any evil about you. I'm not thinking of anything bad to happen to you. And that's one of the things my pastor mentioned about forgiveness. It's not that you would not feel the pain. The pain would not just disappear. It just means that when you remember the person, you don't have an evil thought toward the person. You don't feel like, oh, something bad should just happen to this person because the person has offended you. No. So forgiveness breaks pride, because naturally unforgiveness is pride, and forgiveness means, you know what, I'm not proud. I'm willing to obey whatever God says. So those are the 4 key points, the 4 reasons why you should forgive. Now let's talk about forgiving yourself. Naturally, I believe that if you want to forgive others, you have to forgive yourself first. I always say that if you want to accept others for who they are, you must have accepted yourself for who you are. And same goes to forgiveness. If you want to forgive whoever has offended you, you must forgive yourself too, because somehow you just feel you may have contributed to whatever the person have done to you, knowingly or unknowingly, willingly or unwillingly. You just feel like, okay, probably if I was not vulnerable to this person, he or she would not have done this thing to me. Probably if I had not replied that message, it wouldn't have led to this or that. So somehow you may allow unforgiveness to eat you up, like personally unforgiveness towards yourself. So the first step to forgiveness is to forgiving others is forgiving yourself first. If you want to forgive others, you have to forgive yourself. Late last year I was just it was difficult for me to forgive myself. Like, I just like I was literally crying to God, like, God, have mercy on me. And it got to a point that the Holy Spirit just kept saying, you are forgiven. You are forgiven. But it's so difficult for me to accept that I've been forgiven. Why? Because I've not forgiven myself. So even before you could, if you feel you've offended God, even before you could really accept that God has forgiven you, you have to forgive yourself. It was difficult for me to see that God has really forgiven me, because I personally haven't forgiven myself. So you have to forgive yourself first. You have to forgive yourself to receive forgiveness from God. You have to forgive yourself before you can forgive others. So it is important, very important and necessary for you to forgive yourself of everything you think you've done wrong to yourself, to others. There was a time when I first lost my sister, I was filled with guilt. Like, it was really difficult for me to forgive myself, because I felt I was not there as much as I ought to. I did not give her the attention that I really think I should have given her. So I was held down by guilt. Like, for many years I felt so guilty. I could not forgive myself. I fell into depression because of unforgiveness. I could not forgive myself. So it is very important. If you want joy in your heart, if you want your life to be filled with joy, you have to forgive yourself. You have to learn that God has forgiven you, and you have to forgive others. It is very important. Those 3 points: forgiving yourself, accepting God's forgiveness, and forgiving others. Very important. Also, you need to understand that forgiveness is a process. Forgiveness does not happen in a day. Like I said, it doesn't mean you don't feel the pain. It doesn't mean that, okay, because you've chosen to forgive someone, tomorrow you might wake up and start crying. You might wake up and start crying. You might wake up and start remembering the hurt caused by the person, the pain you had to endure, the brokenness and everything. You might just feel that pain. It just means that you are human. You have emotions and you are allowed to feel your emotions. But it also means that as much as you are feeling the pain, you don't think of evil towards the person. You don't wish for anything bad to the person. When you hear the person's name, you may remember the odds, but you don't think that, oh, this person should just go out and get hit by a car or anything. You don't go out and talk bad about the person. Yes, that's also very important. That's very important about forgiveness. When you say you forgive someone, you don't badmouth the person. You don't go out and start saying some things bad about the person. Even if you feel the person is bad, it's just normal for you to just keep some information about the person to yourself, because you don't want people to think. It's okay for you to try to protect some other people from the person, but there's a way you can place it that you are not bad mouthing the person, and you are also helping others. You are saving others from being hurt by the same person if necessary. So forgiveness is a process. It's not something you arrive at in a day. No, it's a process. It's a journey. You are allowed to feel the pain. You are allowed to feel the hurt, but most importantly, you must allow joy into your heart. You must intentionally allow peace of mind. You must intentionally. One thing about forgiveness is it comes with intentionality. Everything majorly, everything comes with intentionality. So you must be intentional. You must be intentional about the fact that you want to obey God's commandments. You must be intentional about the fact that you want to allow joy and peace of mind into your heart. You must be intentional about the fact that you want to be free. Yes, you want to be free, and you want to draw closer to God. So forgiveness it's a process, it's a journey. It's not something you arrive at in a day. So I've come to realize that me saying that I've forgiven you does not mean that whatever you did to me is okay. I'm just saying that I'm not allowing that to control me. I'm not allowing whatever you've done to control me. And forgiveness does not mean giving access to giving the person access back to your life. No. Forgiveness means setting boundaries, especially if you don't want the same thing to repeat itself. Set boundaries. It's very important for you to set boundaries for yourself. Don't say because I've forgiven the person, and one of the way I can prove that I've forgiven you is for you to come back to my life, or for me to allow you to do the same thing to me. No. If I've forgiven you, I am also setting boundaries between us. I am setting boundaries for myself. I am not giving you the same access into my life. I am not going to allow you to do the same thing again to me. No. I am setting boundaries. I am not giving you the access. You used to have the access, but you misused it. And I am not giving you the second chance to hurt me again. You have to learn how to set boundaries as much as you are forgiving someone. As much as you're trying to forgive, you have to set boundaries. So lastly, I will end by saying you don't forgive because the person deserves it. No, you forgive because your heart deserves peace. Your heart deserves peace. I've been talking about peace of mind. Yes, forgiveness is very important because of your joy and your peace of mind. You don't want anything to disturb your peace of mind, and you wouldn't allow unforgiveness to disturb your peace of mind. Thank you very much. Thank you for staying tuned, and thank you for watching. If this video has blessed you, I want you to like, I want you to drop a comment, and I want you to share it with someone that you know this video would bless, someone you know that needs to release something from his or her mind. Like, drop a comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much. I remain your host, Iyanoluwa Mary.